Councillor Watson.
Thank you. I'll try and keep it brief. On page 29, we talked about specific reserves for maintaining open spaces, and in particular, you've mentioned 𝐒𝐫𝐫𝐻𝐫 Country Park. I'd like to understand what we've spent on the maintenance of that country park in the last quarter, because having been up there at the weekend, there's 3 missing benches with dangerous trip hazards. A lot of the paths are overgrown, and I've had to the point where residents with less mobility are no longer able to access and use a lot of the park. So we are actually preventing a vulnerable group from using that facility. So I'd like to understand what maintenance is being done and how we're spending that money, if possible, please.
No problem. Again, Jasmine, behind me, in charge of all assets and wonderfulness. She'll be able to... But things at 𝐒𝐫𝐻𝐫 tend to be... I seem to remember, is it footbridges and fences and various things like that. So it's general maintenance. But I mean, I don't know what the reporting process is for reporting issues. Have those issues that you've specified, do you know if they've been reported to us at all?
I do know as of this weekend, because I reported them myself, yes.
Wonderful.
It is now being dealt with.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. And I'm sure that Jasmine can expand on the process and how that works. But it's general repairs. I mean, we're not talking, not major structural things, but because we had an awful lot of 𝐒𝐫𝐻𝐫, the car park, this is separate to the car park. This is literally hedges and trees and fences and paths and things like that. It's
the access element. So the paths that you used to be able to get a wheelchair or a buggy down, you no longer can. Benches where people would walk up to the country park and then would be able to sit and rest before they come back don't exist anymore. So those elements of society are not able to use it, which is a real shame.
But you've reported that now, and so we'll deal with it.
I will start with that. Councillor Watson.
Thank you. Just wanted to ask a question on page 99 regarding the fly tip enforcement action. Our percentage of fixed penalty notices per fly tip is the lowest of any council listed at 1.15%. Taking the 1,135 total fly tips across the year and divided by 4 to get an average quarter, which is 283.7, or call it 280 per quarter, we've issued 2 fixed penalty notices. That feels extremely low. Do we know why that is, why that rate is so low, please?
I totally get where you're coming from, and I did speak to the service about this as well. So they've been doing a lot of preventative work at the moment. So I think a lot of the casework, when it actually comes to enforcement action, can take a really long time. So a lot of the work they've been doing is preventative stuff. There's been a better way of like recording the number of fly tips as well, so you actually get a bit more of that kind of accurate. This is a fly tip. This isn't a fly tip. This is something that we are responsible for. And additionally, as part of the other work around alloys, there's going to be a streets element that's included as well, which will actually give officers more kind of information, and 𝐒𝐫𝐾O as well, so they can actually make sure that they're going to exactly the right place and reporting it properly, so those figures are more accurate. But I mean, I can come back with a bit more of a comprehensive thing from the service about why the actual percentage is so low. So, but I'm happy to do that. I'll have to take it away.
Thank you. I'd also like to know if we could find out is how many fly tipping officers the other councils have, so we know how the performance ranks versus number of officers.
Yeah, that's something I'd be interested to know as well.
Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Chair. Mine was a follow-up question on the fly tipping. Apologies, I needed to go and find a date, but I'd like to just understand what work we do with our partner councils, particularly the County Council. We had an issue with Cardston with travellers on the land on Monaghan Way for several weeks. They departed, and the day that they departed, stickers were put on by the District Council saying, "Do you know who fly tipped this rubbish?" And I know that the County Council know who fly tipped the rubbish because they were visiting them on a regular basis. So I'd just like to understand how we're managing those situations so that we're not wasting taxpayers' money where perhaps we could claim some of that back from known information. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll pick that up with the service and come back with you.
And in respect to 𝐒𝐫𝐻𝐫, 𝐒𝐫𝐾O manage the country park. They will cut as instructed by our biodiversity team, and you've done the right thing to drop a line to our assets inbox to report anything that you see. I'm aware we are procuring new benches, and I think you've helped with the location of the concrete pads. So our intention is to replace those. But any issues, in fact, any issues with assets, it's assets at westoxon.gov.uk, and that'll come through to our team.